Hi, and welcome to Hearts of Iron 4. Let's see, I'm America. Hooray and yippee-doo-dah. America, the slow economy of the world. And
Yeah,
with me here, Mr. Soviet Union, who
for
wants to
now.
wreck everybody. Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, right, you're
We're t
turning
yeah,
democratic.
we're testing an idea to see what would happen if we founded like the Russian Federation and we were both democratic and see what would happen.
Yep. But basically this video is a, sort of a first impression for me, because I never actually did a first impression the first game I did, so this is my third nation, I think. Whereas
Yeah,
my first one was Italy, I believe.
which was not necessarily the greatest starting nation.
No, it's not the best starting nation, but it's got a good amount of things. I didn't mind it. Uh, it's just that if you don't join the Axis, you're kind of messed up.
Unless you can get like really powerful. But yeah,
Right.
for the most part.
And then after that, I started using Turkey. And Turkey, I didn't mind. They started with a good amount of different things. I
The
managed
only
to just don't talk, please. I managed to get Iran and Iraq in our last game, which is really nice. Getting them both before the world tension became 25%. Wow, actually it's 17% right now.
yeah.
That's interesting.
I think it's because Japan just did something.
I see.
But
That's the
yeah,
main two things I don't like about this game, I'm gonna have to say, is
yeah,
the world threat
tension.
generation by Japan and uh, and Spain. Oh wow, Spain, right, has already had their
Spain doesn't do too
dealy.
bad, but Japan can like do 80 in a one pop.
Right, right. But I mean, Spain did 16.5% in
Yeah, so
finishing their dealy, and that's just a lot, especially when
yeah,
you're having more than one player playing this game as communists or
you can
fascists.
ruin it really early on with
Yeah,
that.
because with communists and fascists, you can't, you're trying to do things as quickly as possible. Now, if you were
Yeah,
trying to go democratic at the
it wouldn't be so
beginning,
bad.
it's not too bad, yeah, because going democratic, um,
You can't do anything until it's at least over 50 tension, basically.
right, right. You need a lot of world tension to do anything.
Yeah,
Whereas the communists and fascists can do it as soon as their main party
yeah,
is communist and fascist. But then the downside is the democratic nations guaranteeing those people
yeah.
at
After
25%.
25%, the first like 5 or 6 you try to justify a war goal against the UK or France are gonna like protect it. So you're
Right, right.
basically gonna get into a war, which kind of sucks.
Yeah. And the other thing that I didn't like about this game was manpower limits. Sure, I understand it's relatively realistic, but
Yeah,
when I was playing as Turkey and I got Iran and Iraq, it's a decent amount of space, and I fielded like, what was it,
like
70 divisions?
yeah, you
60
ended up having
divisions?
like 108
Did
divisions.
I have that many? I don't remember having
Yeah.
quite that many. But that's a lot. I don't think I had 100, did I?
No, you had over 100, I recall that. And you basically ran out of manpower.
Well, I ran out of manpower right away, like when I had that
Yeah.
70. I don't even know where I got
Which
the
is
other
the
30.
problem. Is like there's certain countries in this game you have to play kind of sparingly. You have to look at the risks and know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're basically screwed.
Well, I understand that. It's just that playing as communist Turkey, which I was doing, or I should probably try fascist Turkey at some time.
Yeah.
Um, but I want to gain some land in order to get
Land's
manpower.
no problem, but a lot of the countries around you are basically void of population.
Right, right. But I mean, that's what I mean,
Yeah.
though. I can only take so much before the world tension
Things
is at
start going
25%,
weird. Yeah.
and then once it's at 25%, everything gets guaranteed by the allies, and then I can,
And then you're going to get in a useless war.
yeah, if I take anything else, I get automatically in war with the allies. So they're crimping my style, trying to
Yeah.
expand, which is quite annoying.
Yeah.
Now, as the
Which is
Americans, I start out with lots of civilian factories. The
yeah,
yeah,
you started out with like 140 factories, but like shit all for military factories.
right. Also, your economy is horrible.
Yeah, because you've got that really, really brutal undisturbed isolation thing, which is like taking all the bad economies in the game and mashing them together.
Exactly. And also, my recruitable population is only 1%.
Yeah,
Um,
because you're basically disarmed.
right. But what I'm saying is like with Turkey, I had well, I was in war
Extensive.
economy, but yeah, I had extensive conscription, and I even went service by requirement, and it still didn't do enough.
Yeah.
I
If you
would
went
have to,
scraping the barrel, then you probably get like 3 million more, but you'd have like nothing being produced.
well, it would be better just to do all adults. No, I did all adults serve even on that one and still ran out.
Yeah. Scraping the barrel is
I'm
like
not gonna go
the you.
that bad. That going
Yeah.
straight from the barrel is just messed up.
It's like basically you know you're screwed unless you do it kind of thing.
But if I was going to go to Turkey like that again, I would probably try going fascist
Yeah.
because
The
as the
difference is
fascists, that
between
that
them. Yeah.
7%, yeah, that 7% extra manpower you can get as the fascists.
Yeah, you the commies don't get extra manpower things, but the fascists get extra manpower through their tree. But the other perk is the fascists can justify war goals faster than the other countries, but the thing with the commies is like they don't generate as high of attention when they attack somebody.
But even then, it really doesn't matter
Yeah,
because as long as you, like for example, when I was attacking Iran and Iraq, I had to do the uh, the justifying war goal at
yeah,
the same time because if I had waited to do Iran and then Iraq, Iraq would have been guaranteed by France or the UK.
yeah,
And so I had to do both at the same time, which I barely had enough troops to take them both at the same time because both of them put together was
yeah,
basically all of my troops. That's why I had to spam so many troops.
yeah.
Uh,
Which overall, I prefer fascists, but commies are nice. But certain countries you can war deck and get like no tension at all, and then certain countries it's like, for example, if I took Poland right now, it would probably raise it up to like 80%.
but the countries that
So it's like the
don't
bigger the
have,
country, the more tension you get. But even then, I still think a nerf needs to be done because there's certain countries that if you take them, it basically just wrecks the game. So it's like Japan can basically wreck the game by war decking China, which is a little bit overpowered because it's going to happen virtually every game no matter what. So Japan usually ends up wrecking the game like late 37, early 38.
I see. Yeah. So with our tactic here, what exactly is the reason you decided to go um
Democratic?
instead of trying to make us both fascist or something?
Well, the reasoning that I went with for becoming Democratic is I wanted to see what would happen if I was the protector. So if I mess with the Germans by protecting people, I wanted to see what would happen if I had like influence. Like I was kind of neutral and just sat along the sides and just kind of played, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that kind of thing.
I see.
I just was curious because I've never done it before and I thought it would be kind of interesting.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess. I mean, that just means we have to wait longer to be able to do anything, which isn't
Yeah,
bad.
which means the good thing is it'll give us time to prepare.
Yes, which means if we're in
Which,
the same faction, we're just going to destroy everything.
and there was like 15% tension, there was another like 10% tension. So surprisingly, it didn't ruin it as bad as I thought. But as soon as they take China and capitulate it, unless China wins, which can happen, we're basically looking at 100% tension there. So we're pretty much going to be able to do shit as soon as China dies
Right,
or
because it was
Japan
like
dies.
14%. That's up like, man, they do so
Which
much.
China could win because he does have a lot of divisions this time, more than Japan does, according to the statistics.
I see.
So there's like a 50-50 chance. But I've seen China win before, and then it's really scary because China, if they take all the land around them, can easily get over 1 billion manpower that they can have like in their pool that they can draw from, and then it just makes China able to swarm you.
Yeah,
So that's the problem with like Asia. Is it's vital to take Asia if you want to win because you'll get enough manpower through it. So it's like you don't want Japan controlling it or it gets really bad.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go with an ocean-going navy. I think I'm going to grab that. I'm just really pissed off about the scientists defecting. I didn't know if you changed the Soviet Union towards a democratic government that it messes with your scientists.
I guess I didn't know either. I mean, is that just something that says, or does it actually have a negative thing to your
It
stats?
actually has like a really bad negative penalty to my research
What
time.
penalty? Oh, to your research
It
time.
takes basically 75% longer to research tanks, which is really bad because that's like an extra like 50 to 100 days. So it like really messes with your tanks, which means I'm basically not going to be able to field any tanks.
Good to know.
So it's definitely not something you want. So hopefully it'll go away because otherwise it's going to really screw up like my tanks, which I'm going to want to get just because having infantry is great, but I need something more powerful because Germany usually fields a decent amount of tanks.
Yeah, I guess I should probably work on that too. I don't usually build much for tanks until I usually get like the first basic light tanks, and then I
I
don't.
usually try and build the first gen heavies if I have the resources because it's generally better. They punch more. Sure, they may be a little bit slower, but light tanks are great if you just need to get into an area, but you want to add a little bit more stuff or the terrain's
Right,
kind of
right.
bad.
I kind of like the better lights or some
Yeah.
of the mediums because they can push
They're
quickly.
versatile, but they can move quicker. And if it's bad terrain, then they're going to move quicker than a heavy. So it's like heavies are situational. If you were going through like Germany where it's kind of flat, then they'd be okay. But if you're going through something like that territory down near where Turkey is, like if you were attacking Turkey as the Soviet Union, your tanks would pretty much be worthless if they were heavies.
Right.
So it's kind of like they're situational to
Also,
the
just
land.
with the way that
Plus, they
um,
also take forever.
fight, I usually use tanks or cavalry and flank
Yeah.
the enemy,
Well,
and try
motorized is
to.
also extremely powerful for flanking because you can move across a country that may take a guy walking 50 to 100 days. You can do it in like 20 with motorized.
Yes, but I don't
So,
generally build motorized infantry outside of my tank divisions.
yeah. I do sometimes just for the effect of blitzkrieging kind of thing. I'd much rather have troops that can move where I need them in half the time. So it's nice if you want to mobilize faster, and it also allows you to be more elastic against defenses. So, like, if you are attacking somebody and you finish killing them, but then somebody war decks you and your troops are on the other side of the country, you can get there faster. So it's a little bit more important. And Yugoslavia is about to get slaughtered. So I have to do a guarantee independence thing when I get the chance.
Let's get that, and
I'm only 51% commie
do
now,
that.
which means I should have the final tick over thing soon.
You know, I've never used paratroopers.
Paratroopers are really easy to get. You just gotta like know how to tell the planes what to do. But paratroopers can be super efficient if they don't have much air power of like taking something's capital. Which the German Reich doesn't really have that much air power, so I could probably paratrooper them.
So you need the planes, and then you have to have air
Yeah.
superiority over the area, right?
No, I don't think you do. I think they'll still go, and but they risk getting shot down.
I see. So you just click the units and tell them to go from
Yeah.
airport to an enemy airport?
Paratroopers, no, you can tell them to just land in a certain area, if
Oh,
that
but
makes
you have to
sense.
click on
Like
your
a
airport
quadrant.
with them
Yeah,
first, right?
you just tell them to load into the plane and then go drop somewhere.
I see. I've never built them, so I don't even
They're
know.
nice if you want to flank people or if you just need to get some troops behind somebody.
Right now, I've only used Marines to do that. Like, I was fighting
Which yeah, I
in
definitely recommend.
Africa for the Suez Canal, and the UK and well, the US and UK and Australian forces were
That's one of
cornering me
the
in
tactics. Yeah.
Cairo and Alexandria. So I went and took a tank and some units down to a naval base further in the in Saudi Arabia and just jumped the Red Sea and then just went up and closed them off and destroyed them all. It was
I've
great.
seen people before use the paratroopers to take out the UK early on as Germany. They just go and spam a bunch of paratroopers all over the country.
That would be
And
interesting.
and it's really actually super effective against taking out the UK because they don't usually keep a lot of troops on their mainland. So it's like if you get your troops down there early, you can take them and capitulate them in like 36.
Oh, I see. It would be interesting
So
to at
it's
least take Ireland, have the foothold like sitting
yeah,
right next to them.
yeah. It's a really cheap tactic to some people's regards, but it's like super ultra effective. I just another thing that I guess I could say that I don't like about the game is that Austria is basically screwed. I feel like
Austria?
there should
No.
I feel like there should be more frequency where Austria like turns fascist or does something and lives or joins the Allies or something. It's just not frequent enough that they don't die.
Because they are 50% fascist.
So they're a pretty big country, so it'd be kind of nice to see what would happen if they lived and could play a part in everything. But Germany
Define
just basically
big.
gets to take them out. I mean, 6 million people is not that small. They could put an army and be useful for changing the way that Europe goes, but I just feel like
I
Austria
guess.
needs to be something that can survive because it would make it interesting. I don't feel like Germany should basically just get a free slice of the pie for like nothing. It
Right,
feels a
right.
little bit like they basically just put it in here and just threw away a whole country for no reason.
I see.
So I would definitely do a
Is that the
protection
only thing
against it.
you don't really like about this game, or what
Well,
mechanics do
that's
you not really
the
care for?
biggest thing. As far as mechanics, Asia is screwed up in some way because it seems like your troops in Asia just basically you can't do anything out of the gate. There's like no infrastructure, so your troops are basically worthless out of the
Right,
gate.
right. The infrastructure over there and in the Middle East is pretty bad, so you
So you
get
can
attrition
basically slow
so
down.
bad.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. It just makes it extremely hard to play as one of those countries. But like if I go to like the Soviet Union like I'm at now, most of my infrastructure is 4 in most places except for like the far east. But even along the border, it's still pretty good, like 4 and 5. So certain like European countries just have the infrastructure so you can steamroll them basically.
Right, right. I
But you
mean, but
since
in
you get to
general,
certain
though,
areas, you bog down. But it's not only that. Like if you go into Africa, you also have massive attrition
just
strictly
going
on the
anywhere, yeah.
yeah. It's because you've got the desert shit.
Yeah, it's like it's desert, the temperature's bad, the populations are low, the infrastructure levels are tiny. You just can't. You're just so hard to hold anything, but certain points that actually have a few things on them. Except for that's the reason really why I like tanks,
Yeah,
and that's why you have like uh, I don't have a
yeah,
general name patent, but that's why you have Desert Fox and stuff because that's where you get Desert
yeah,
Foxes down there basically, and other tank brigades and stuff like that. Just rolling tanks across the desert quickly and just destroying things
yeah.
is the best
Oh
method.
wow, that's interesting. I get like a massive unity thing because I destroyed communism. So now everybody's like all happy.
Oh, I see. You changed
But
the Russian Federation.
the good thing is that I kicked out all of my people that were in my faction, so now Mongolia hates me. So I'll just probably take Mongolia out because they're commies. But
See,
yeah.
now you can hold elections.
Yeah, so now like it's interesting to see what would happen, but like this is like modern Russia, if that makes sense. So it's like
Yeah, yeah.
this is like the Russia that exists right now. Which the good thing is by getting rid of that, it got rid of a lot of bad penalties. So now I've got like really good penalties, so I don't like suck as bad.
I see.
And I also was able to get to partial mobilization out of the gate. So at least my economy is also not toaster economy. And I'm feeling like I'm probably also going to do free trade maybe because I just feel like that would be right. But Xinjiang also apparently hates me. They just like went against me and just basically told me to screw off.
I see. Yeah,
But oh,
I'm actually
yeah.
now that people have gotten it above
Ooh,
35% or
I want
25%,
to try doing something real
I can
quick.
actually get some things now. Oh, it has to be 40% to. Has dismantled their faction.
Yes.
Fancy. Oh, I still gotta get this one. How did I not get that
Yay.
one?
So now the Brits like me enough to let me join the Allies,
So are
which
we
is
planning to
really
join the
interesting.
Allies? Is that
I
the goal?
guess or we could create our own, which would be powerful enough, and I'm sure we could sway countries to join us.
Yeah, it would be powerful, but I don't know. I think joining the
I
Allies
want
would
to
be more fun.
do it. I guess we could. In
Because it would make this like we could make this in a series instead of just one video.
Yeah,
We could
yeah,
literally finish it up in like two more videos, and bam, the
yeah,
world's ours.
yeah. Which I just want to like take over the world at the same time as juggling politics. I thought it would be interesting to juggle politics.
Okay, okay. So how soon do you think we should join the Allies?
As soon as we can, which is 80% tension minimum.
Okay, see, for me, it's 100%.
And because I don't want Yugoslavia to die, I'm going to guarantee his independence so that Italy can't do anything. And I'm also going to guarantee Czechoslovakia because I'm okay with putting up guarantees to protect countries because if I get into a war with Germany now, I'm mostly okay with it. I'm just trying to protect certain countries from Germany
Wait,
early
who did you
on.
protect? Poland?
No, Yugoslavia and Czechoslovakia. Because Italy was saying they were going to kill Yugoslavia. So
Well, they
I went
didn't
ahead and
say that, but they do have
they
focuses for that.
that's why I'm protecting them because I don't want Yugoslavia to die because they can
Got it.
become a powerful ally. As far as ships go, I'm probably going to do stuff with ships, but not to the degree of what I'm
Well,
going to do with
if
Air
you've got
Force.
ships, I would, since you're going to be on the Allies, I'd only keep like, you might need a little bit of something in the Black Sea
I do have stuff in the Black Seas,
and a
and
little
I
bit
got
in the
stuff up
Baltic.
north. I do have stuff in the Baltic, some battleships,
Yeah, yeah.
um,
But the main thing
cruisers
you're
and
going to have
stuff,
to worry about is on your eastern border near eastern Siberia.
where
That's going to,
Japan is.
yeah, where Japan is. They're going to be your
I'll
big pain in the behind.
I'll deal with Japan later, but honestly, I don't think they're going to be strong enough right now to take me out because I've got more troops than
But
they do.
ship-wise, they're going to be your biggest
Ship-wise,
issue for your ships.
yes, they will be a problem for ships. But I can obviously build up a navy because I've got a lot of dockyards. And I don't even think my dockyards are actually doing anything right now. So let me actually take a peek. I don't really actually have that many dockyards, so I'll definitely want to expand my navy. But I'm thinking I'm going to build some like heavy and light cruisers.
At the moment, it looks like I'm not building a whole lot.
Which I'm going to go ahead and order some light cruisers. I can build like 4 a year, so that's definitely okay with me.
I believe I finished a carrier, which means what I need to do
Yeah.
is
I'm going to go and do the anti-fascist diplomacy thing,
what I need to do is start
which
building
basically
carrier
makes
equipment.
everybody hate me that's not democratic or whatnot.
I see.
Which I'm okay with that. I'm just going to piss off like Germany out of the gate. Let's see here. I am 126 days off of having all my infantry equipment taken care of.
I have less troops than you, so I
I have
managed to
a
do that already.
lot of artillery stocked up, which is wonderful because when I start producing troops, I've got the artillery now, which is a major thing because all my troops take artillery. So I needed to get that taken care of. Plus, I managed to build up like 500 units of light tank, which is also pretty nice.
You know what? I'm gonna need to do a few more of those
Well, I did add some of these. It's
first.
getting kind of expensive, so I'm going to cancel production of those guys. I want to take a look at my tank
Why does it
divisions.
keep doing that? Every time I switch around my factories, it keeps taking them off of my planes. I'm getting tired of that. Why does it do that?
I want to have
I don't
recon
want it
really
off of my
badly.
planes.
And I also want support anti-tank. And I'm also going to have to say that support artillery is going to have to help my tank divisions. I definitely want the anti-tank support because Germany's going to have tanks. So I'll definitely want as much anti-tank as I can possibly get early.
We fight.